Is Josh Allen going to be the guy that the Buffalo Bills are going to hang on to for the long haul? Let me tell you why. And you've probably already heard this. Cam
Yeah.
Newton is on a full. It seems like a terror trail right now about getting back in the league. He's saying he's healthy. He looks like he's in better shape than he's ever been. Haven't had any real suitors. It doesn't make any sense to anybody. But a lot of people now
Right.
are pushing the narrative that he should go to the Buffalo Bills. What do you think the investment is for the Bills and Josh Allen? And you're shaking your head saying there's no chance of that.
Yeah. I mean, being up there for the last obviously 2 years with Josh and being around that organization, they're all in on Josh. Obviously, you can always bring in competition, similar to what Dallas did with Andy Dalton. But the way Josh has been playing, the way he's been growing every year, the way he's led that team, there's no reason to bring in a Cam Newton and really stunt Josh Allen's growth. One, because of the investment you made in him a couple of years ago, and number two, he hasn't shown you to bring somebody else in that you would need to try to replace him, because that's what a Cam Newton type of backup quarterback would be to do ultimately, would to be replace him outside of like a guy like a Matt Barkley and Davis Webb, who we have on the roster right now, who can come in and get you a win or two if you need to and run your offense, but they're also there to help develop Josh as mentors, and that's why there's always like two different types of quarterbacks: one to replace the starter and one to kind of help the starter, and that's what they need right there because Josh has all the tools and stuff. And then I don't know, and this is just from the outside looking in, I don't know if Cam fits the culture that they're trying to build up there, and that's for me just practicing with him for 2 weeks. I don't really know him, but that's from my perspective, if he really fits that locker room and what Sean is trying to build.
What is Sean trying to build? Just like a hard-nosed, blue-collar, here we go. We're just
Yeah,
going
right. The same reasons why people feel like the Patriots won't bring him in. And so it's just all about putting your head down, going to work. I know sometimes, though, when you have setbacks in your career, when you've been released or haven't been signed, that you do make changes. You look internally and make some changes, and maybe Cam has done that. And I think he's going to have to probably prove that in the offseason, or once he gets his chance to get in with the team to show that he's here to work, grind, forget all the camera stuff. I'm here to win games. And I think that's definitely going to help him out. And maybe, not that he has to take a Jameis Winston type of deal, but maybe he's going to have to do something that he doesn't want to do in order to get back to where he wants to be.
I know the camera stuff is something that can turn some teams off, but what Cam Newton's been doing with his camera stuff, that vlog last night, he made a hype video about himself last night that I saw on YouTube that almost made me want to run through a wall and really pull for him. It does feel as if the musical chairs, though, are kind of getting all picked over, and it's like,
right.
Will he have to come in the middle of a season and sign with somebody where if they're not having the success that they're looking for out of their quarterback, or if somebody gets hurt, that'll be interesting to see. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now let's get back to the fornicating action. Let's talk about Andy Dalton to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think this is a play by the Cowboys to say, hey, we want Andy Dalton to be our starter, although Andy Dalton has played very good football. I think what you were referring to with there's two types of quarterbacks, one that's supposed to compete and one that's supposed to help. I think Andy Dalton could be a great person for Dak to potentially lean on for a little bit more information. He's played in the league longer. He's been there, done that with a lot of stuff. Is Dak going to sign that contract ever, do you think?
I don't know if Dak is going to sign the contract because obviously in his mind, he has what he wants. And so I don't know if the contract that they've offered him is exactly what he needs. And so I was, talking the other day, I think he should take the Kirk Cousins approach. I mean, he was a fourth rounder similar to Kirk Cousins. I would be running there to sign the tag because after some point, they're not going to want to continue to tag you as a quarterback, and then you actually change the leverage because then they know you're willing to sign the tag at some point because most teams use the tag as leverage to make you sign a deal that's really in the long run probably more advantageous to the team or team friendly. But playing quarterback, unlike other positions, is probably one of the safest positions out there, even though I understand quarterbacks get hurt. But Dak really hasn't had any big-time injury issues. He's a winner. We all know he can ball. So if I was him, I would bet on myself and get exactly what I want instead of maybe settling because they maybe signed Andy Dalton or you looking, the numbers are close and you just want to feel comfortable. And I would do more of the Kirk Cousins approach if I was him.
You know what's interesting is when you're a player, especially a good one, all you're trying to do is get to free agency. Right. And I'm never going to pitch for the franchise tag because long-term wealth is a lot better than 1 year, everything like that. The franchise tag is the franchise tag is not perfect, but it's just like Trubisky where he didn't get his 5th year picked up, or Leonard Fournette who didn't get his 5th year picked up. And I guess the way the rules are, it's like if they get hurt in week 14, you're still on the hook to pay them their 5th year salary. So it's not advantageous for the teams to pick up people's 5th year options, but for players too, if you're going to hit the free agency market, especially if you have a good year coming up, you can get paid again. If Dak Prescott takes that $32 million or whatever he's supposed to get with that franchise tag and balls out exactly like he did before, let's assume he does even better and they win some games, his number is going to go up. But obviously for Dak, the thought is if I don't have the same year I had, my number is going to fall out the window. I think,
but why wouldn't they? They added pieces to it. They have a great offense. He's going to have a lot of weapons. He's got Zeke. He's got Amari. He's got CeeDee Lamb. I mean, so they're going to have advantageous spots as far as matchups where he's going to be able to take advantage of it. So that's why I'm saying bet on yourself, brother, because they've done everything to help you to go out there and maximize yourself.
It's interesting, though, because in business, you can't always get everything you want because you're obviously doing business with other people. So you have to figure out what you want to give and take, just like in the NFLPA, NFL, CBA negotiations, right? It's like I always thought that whenever you go into a negotiation with your fists up, you're probably not going to have good negotiation because both sides are just going to be completely against each other. Now, granted, the new CBA, I think there has been some advancements. People are going to be upset. It was a 49% vote. That's always going to happen. Josh Allen's their guy, he says. And I saw a couple comments about Cam Newton not working hard. It's not, we're not saying like that. It's like Cam Newton is a show. I mean, that's his personality, his charisma. Not every team is as welcoming to that. I think there's a lot of, I've experienced that firsthand, that there are some places that enjoy you, and then a new regime comes in. It's like, that's not for us. Like some places are, Pete Carroll is known for letting people's personalities flourish. The San Francisco 49ers, the same exact thing. Whenever you hear about other cultures, though, they're not as like, oh, this is fun. They're more like, this is a job. Like, we don't want you to even be smiling, dancing. We don't want that happening here. Which, by the way, both ways have had success. I enjoy the side that lets you have fun and stuff like that, but I assume Cam Newton isn't going to be a guy who's just going to completely change his personality if he needs to get. Maybe he will, though. I hope he doesn't, because that video he put out last night, banger.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then his first one, he had E.T., the hip hop preacher, in the first video. Cam Newton's team down there is doing good content. I can't wait to see where he ends up.